This coming Sunday is the 16th Sunday after Pentecost, or Proper 19. Our text this week picks up almost where we left off last week, except for we are going to be skipping the two verses about cutting off your hand and gouging out your eye when they cause you to sin. So, glad about that. So our passage today, much like last week, Jesus will talk about how we are supposed to treat little ones. So I thought for our introduction, again, I will read Will Gaffney's commentary because I find it quite helpful. She says, today's lessons focus on children, their vulnerability, and their inherent value to God. Matthew 8, verse 10, is one of the very few texts that suggest people, here children, have their own angels who commune with God on their behalf. In the gospel, the little ones may be minor children or new believers young in faith, or a combination of both. Here, the lost sheep parable has a twist. It is not just about wandering away, but being driven away, linked with a warning command not to despise or look at or treat with contempt these little ones. In the worlds of the scriptures, children were not always valued beyond signs of the money and prosperity, even with the occasional narrative that values an individual child. These texts together, the lectionary texts together, emphasize that we are called as children, with children, into the arms of God and our elder sibling, Jesus. So let's move to our text. But before we do that, I will light our candle. And invite us just to pause for a moment to rest in God's presence. I'll pray for these graces. To know Jesus more intimately, to love him more intensely, and to follow him more closely. Matthew 18, verses 10 to 14. Jesus said, "See to it that you do not treat one of these little ones with contempt. I say to you all that their angels in the heavens see the face of my Abba, who is in the heavens all day, every day. What do you all think? If a person had 100 sheep and one of them wandered off, would they not leave the 99 on the mountain and go in search of the one that wandered off? If they find it, truly I tell you all that they rejoice over it more than over the 99 who did not wander off. In the same way, it is not the will of your Abba, who is in the heavens, that one of these little ones should be lost." Word of God, word of life. Before I guide you through the passage with questions and pauses, let's take a few moments to center ourselves. Breathing in God's Spirit and breathing out anything that distracts us from being in the presence of God. I'll pray again for our graces to know Jesus more intimately, to love him more intensely, and to follow him more closely. I invite you to enter the story. You are with Jesus and the others, listening to Jesus teach. Take a moment to visualize the setting. Are you outside or inside? Are you sitting or standing? Who is around you and what is the mood of the crowd? Earlier, Jesus brought a young child into the center of the group to illustrate a point. And now he is gesturing to a group of children gathered before him. He says, "See to it that you do not treat one of these little ones with contempt. I say to you all that their angels in the heavens see the face of my Abba, who is in the heavens all day, every day." What emotions do you sense in Jesus' voice as he speaks? How does it make you feel to hear him speak about children in this way? Reflect on the idea that these little ones who are vulnerable in various ways, prone to people's contempt, have angels who commune with God on their behalf. How does this knowledge affect your perspective of these vulnerable ones? Jesus continues, "What do you all think? If a person has had 100 sheep and one of them wandered off, would they not leave the 99 on the mountain and go and search for the one that wandered off?" Picture the lone sheep wandering off. How do you think it got separated from the rest? How does the idea of abandoning the 99 to search for the one lost sheep make you feel? Reflect on the significance of actively pursuing and caring for someone who may have strayed. How does the shepherd's unwavering commitment to find the wanderer affect you emotionally? As you're here listening to Jesus speak. Jesus continues saying, if they find it, truly I tell you that all, truly I tell you all, that they rejoice over it more than over the 99 who did not wander off. Think about the joy and celebration over the one who was lost, but is now found. See the joy on the shepherd's face. Hear the songs of celebration. Allow this rejoicing to touch your heart. How does this demonstrate the importance of each individual, especially the little ones, in God's eyes? In the same way, it is not the will of your Abba who is in the heavens that one of these little ones should be lost. Feel the warmth of God's love surround you, just as it does these vulnerable ones. How can you carry this message of love and protection into your own interaction with others? I invite you to spend the next 10 minutes in a colloquy with the divine. Speak to God about what you experienced during the contemplation. What might God want to say to you about your life or the life of your community as it relates to this story? When I sound my chimes, that will indicate that you have about a minute to wrap up your colloquy, after which time I will end the silence by reading this week's psalm. If you're doing this contemplation later with the recording, go ahead and hit pause now, and then come back whenever you're ready to hear the reading of the psalm. We'll close our silence by reading Psalm 13. How long, Holy One, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long will I counsel myself? Sorrow in my heart every day. How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Look, answer me, faithful one, my God. Enlighten to my eyes, lest I sleep into death. Then my enemy will say, I have prevailed over him. My foes will rejoice because I am shaken. Yet I trusted in your loving kindness. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the womb of life, because she has poured goodness on me. Amen.